From the 28-yard line of Auburn. Bama going left to right. Bryce gets the snap, knee high. Looks, throws the fade route, near side end zone. Got it! Caught! Touchdown, Alabama! Caught by Ja'Cory Brooks in the end zone.
And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis! Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back! Auburn's going to win the football game! Auburn's going to win the football game!
And Alabama has come from nowhere to defeat the Auburn Tigers in multiple overtimes.
Episode 24, Tide and Tigers. We are here live. It is about to be June. A lot is going on in the sports world. Horse racing, NBA playoffs, baseball's in high gear. This is very interesting. This is a summer, I think we talked about last time. There's no Olympics. There's no World Cup. So baseball and basketball is going to have to carry us into football season. And that's going to be tough for you because your Celtics are out. We knew the Tatum injury. They did come back and play an amazing game to win and push it to a Game 6. The Knicks win at home big. Madison Square Garden was popping. Mm-hmm. No Celtics basketball for the next couple of weeks. Are you even going to watch now, or are you still going to keep up with the playoffs?
So a great skit was done last night on The Daily Show. Jordan Klepper was dressed up as Jesus, and he was like, "How do you think the Knicks won?" And he was like, "Me." and then Ronnie Chang was like, "All right, so can you tell us? Are they going to make it all the way?" He goes, "Oh, this really is a comedy show, isn't it?" Like, yeah. He goes, "But yeah, how do you think they won? They had to injure one of the best players in the league just to get them by." So like, I think it was a little bit more than a fluke, but I don't think they make it very far. I'm not going to not pay attention to some of the games, but I do want the Knicks to win just because they beat the Celtics.
Well, speaking of that, now there will be 7 champions in 7 years in the NBA. This is not like really any other sport. Baseball's kind of been there a little bit, but with all the dynasties that the NBA has provided, more than any sport, we'll go over some later. That's actually one of Burgin's 5 stars is the best dynasties in the NBA history. This has been really crazy for us to go through 7 years with 7 different champions, and we'll crown a new one this year with the Celtics being out. Is that good for the sport, you think, or do you like seeing teams that can make runs a couple years?
I think you need to not bring this to light, because then everything we talked about last week with the thing being rigged with all the draft process, they'll be like, really? We're having a whole bunch of different champions every year.
And that can be their point as well, too. It's like, look at our product. Baseball, there's a salary cap, and there's no salary cap, so they can pay whatever. And that's why the Dodgers and all these other teams are paying more money than anybody, and they're winning because of it. The Yankees have always been, until recently, spent the most money, and they got the most championships. So that can be, like I said, that's plenty of point for Adam Silver to be, hey, listen, y'all don't like the lottery, but we have 7 different champions in 7 years, and a lot of people are very interested in basketball, at least right now. So I thought it was pretty crazy. I wanted to bring this up. $33,000 for a Knicks courtside seat tonight. This is another 5-star Burgin's thing we'll go over later.
This is more about the crowd.
What is the most you would pay for a ticket to see a game? Maybe to see them play at TD Garden, the Celtics, or you've seen plenty of Auburn games, maybe a Redskins game. What would be the most you would pay to go to a basketball or a football game?
I think me, it's more of if I'm invited, I'm going, or if I've got a seat. Like, I think very few times have I paid for tickets. Like, we went to the Clippers game, I'm sure.
But like, if somebody said, hey, Redskins at home, $500 to watch Jaden Daniels, I think you'd pay $500 to go to a Redskins playoff game. Or
depends on where the seat is. If it's somewhere where I think
a good seat.
If I'm in the nosebleeds or something where I can't even get a good memory out of this, then no, I'm going to not want to spend money on that. Just for people who buy that ticket to be there, I'd rather them have that memory than me. I love being able to visually see everything, rewind it if I need to. If I'm going to go, I want to go with friends, not just me and one other person that doesn't even want to be there either, probably. Yeah. So, I don't know.
But I mean, Redskins, Cowboys in D.C., would you pay $500 for that?
$500's not outrageous to me, but when you start talking about $33,000 for a ticket,
one game,
stuff like that. Now, just imagine this for one game. Wait till it gets to Game 5 or Game 7.
I know.
So, that is more of a...
Or the NBA Finals, possibly,
that too. But this is more of a, I want to be seen, not I want to see it. It's I want to be seen because you're going to be on camera with every pass of the court. So I think it's more of a trying to be famous thing, or you already are famous, so you're just trying to enjoy that than it is.
Well, and a lot of people,
enjoying the game.
I think you've told me before, is a lot of people have, like when the Lakers played a lot of playoff games, I think a lot of people who have movies coming out, Tom Cruise got Mission Impossible coming out. They put them on the front row to, and this movie's coming out tonight. And so it's almost like a marketing thing to get people, Adam Sandler, every time Grown Ups will come up, he'd have all 4 of them on the front row. So you would see all of them and Grown Ups is coming out next weekend. So it's marketing almost too,
Well, that marketing also covers the cost of those tickets.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So it's when they have to spend, say, a $500 million budget for this Tom Cruise movie, you have to spend half of that in marketing and commercial stuff. So they could say, all right, well, $33,000 for 3 tickets. That's part of our marketing.
Yep, and that's going to get them seen. He's going to be talked about during the TNT broadcast or whatever. So that's a great point. So I think I would pay $1,000 if the Gators were playing in the national championship in the Orange Bowl, or
but then which kid you taking? Because you ain't paying $5,000.
But like even like a World Series game in Yankee Stadium or something like that. There's things along. I think I would pay up to $1,000. That's probably my limit. If it was worth it, a playoff game. Again, I don't want to give away too much of my 5 stars later. That's kind of where I'd go.
If it's a Super Bowl for the Redskins,
Super Bowl would be another one.
I would pay upwards of $5,000. Because that's an experience you'll never get again.
Yes.
But if it's just one game, like a season game or something, hell no.
We went to the Cam Newton National Championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never forget that. Yep. We went to the Rose Bowl game, even though Auburn lost. I never will forget that. So 2 unbelievable games. I know Powell won't forget that either. So, as we waited for him in the car as he celebrated with random fans.
Yeah.
Get your butt.
I'll be there soon. We won. We did it.
All right. Next thing, breaking news today. Tush Push fails. It is going to be state legal. You and I were both kind of on the same page of that.
Keep it in there.
Keep it in. Is that any surprise to you on that? Of it not passing?
No, not a surprise. I think it's just going to open the door for more teams to be like, look, we're going to find one thing we're really good at.
Yep.
Throw a player over, stuff like that. But I think it's just going to open that door a little bit more. But Tush Push is always going to be here to stay until you find someone like a Nick Fairley and Ndamukong Suh and stick them right in front of it and say, good luck.
Yeah. Well, very true. All right. So I'm calling this year. I think there's going to be a lot more Tush Push fakes into other things this year.
I can see the Chiefs doing that a ton.
Yeah. All right. Next thing. Justin Jefferson's been really big on it. I wanted to get your opinion on it. Possible the NFL players are going to be allowed to play in Olympic flag football.
They've already agreed to it.
So they've already agreed to it.
So the owners agreed and everything. So they're allowed 2 one player from every team. That's what it is.
So my question to you is, we thought there was a huge gap in basketball, and now the world has come close to that. What is this little 5'8" guy from Slovenia going to do having to guard Justin Jefferson or somebody like? Is this going to be the easiest gold medal the U.S. has ever won? Are you excited to see NFL players playing for an Olympic gold? It's the one sport where, man, you can win gold in anything these days, and football players have always not been able to participate in the Olympics. I think it's a cool thing.
I think it's a cool thing. I do, but I don't think it's going to be as night and day as people think. Like, yeah, these are great football players.
Yeah.
But we've played with great football players from college that have only been mediocre in flag. Just because he's a Justin Jefferson, all right, he's going to score a touchdown. But is he going to be able to turn around on defense and stop every single player and every lateral?
Well, and the one benefit, they have been playing the Pro Bowl, so they've gotten used to a little bit of playing flag because of the Pro Bowl. But I remember we played Alabama's team and we beat them with all these Alabama football players because they didn't know how to pull flags.
Exactly, and sometimes that's all the difference is. And who cares if you score every time? You got to stop them from scoring every time as well.
Yeah.
So it might not be as night and day as it seems, but that's why the only one from every team can even attempt to be on it. It's not they immediately make it; they have to still try out.
Well, and to me though, is like, do offensive guys just have to play offense, or do they go get defensive guys to play defense? Because like Tyreek Hill would probably be the best rusher, not somebody that's from Micah Parsons. You know,
so there will be a roster limit. So you have to understand, most of these guys have to be dual threat players. They have to be able to play both sides of the ball. So they're going to make sure that if they have anybody go down from injury,
Yeah.
hey, you got somebody that can step up.
Yeah.
So
That'd be fun. I think it'd be really fun to watch. I'm excited.
I'm still going to pay attention. It's not like I'm feeling robbed of it or anything. I'm almost 40. It's not my world anymore.
I thought it was going to be your last chance.
I still play every Sunday and stuff, but nope, not trying to chase that dream.
So we've talked about salary caps, we've talked about all this stuff, and that brings us to baseball. The few sports that you can pay, soccer's another one, you can pay as much as you want to if you have the money. That's why the Mets have become relevant now because of their owner.
Or you can pay as little as you want to and do
little as you want to, and Moneyball. And there's been some teams like the Marlins over the years and other teams that have done it through the draft, but usually it ends up imploding because they can't play the players.
Yeah.
Paul Skeens, they're already saying that they're looking to possibly trade him for everything. And the Pirates are now have a game-changing pitcher who could, be great for them for years because of the market they're in, because of their owners. They're going to possibly lose him to the Yankees, the Mets, or whoever. Is that good for baseball? Or I wanted to get your Red Sox, another team. But again, it just never, I feel like as these small market teams, are they ever going to have an opportunity to win a championship unless a bunch of young kids come up
they keep him?
They don't have enough money. And again, they don't want to have the same situation that happened with Shaq with the Magic, where if you don't trade him and then he becomes a free agent, he can go somewhere and you don't get anything back. So it's like, do you go ahead and try to get something for him now before he leaves you anyways? Or do you think, oh man, maybe Paul's a Pittsburgh guy and he's going to stay in Pittsburgh and we're going to be able to, they're already saying they're not going to be able to pay him what he's going to be worth, which is hundreds of millions of
everybody
dollars.
knows what his future's worth, but maybe he's going to be smart enough to say, look, you don't have to pay me.
Yeah.
Any he's going to be like Mahomes and say, you pay me what you can afford to pay me.
Yeah.
I also want back end on all these sales from any concessions and stuff like that. I also want, when I'm done playing for y'all, to have part ownership or part he can work a contract out where he makes $1 billion after his career that will set him up for life better than he could from.
Is money more important than being on a team with a losing record that's already fired their head coach and we're not even halfway through the season? Like, how long do you sit on a losing team and think, man,
well, I didn't know.
I want to, I know you
records are.
Yeah, I didn't know you didn't know that. That's why I wanted to bring it up. So, to me, is
maybe he thinks he could get some players there. I don't know.
Eventually, there's nothing like playoff baseball. The World Series getting there. There's nothing like it. Mike Trout, man, he's been sitting in for the Angels for years. You saw Ohtani. Ohtani was finally like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the Dodgers, and he's already won a World Series. So, how long do you sit in a losing franchise like the Pittsburgh Pirates without thinking, man, I want to play some October and November baseball.
Yeah.
I want to go play for a World Series. I'm going to get paid even more going to these teams. So, it's like they're good. They go to the playoffs, and I get more money. Or I stay at the town that drafted me and brought me up, and we hopefully one day make it, and it means something,
So is baseball one of the sports that doesn't have a cap or something for this?
No, there's no cap. Where
so
the
then
NFL,
that means the team should. That's like an argument for the team moving out of the city. Look, you can't afford to pay your players. Let's move this to another city that can.
And that's what the Oakland A's have happened with them, and that's why they're going to Las Vegas.
But I thought that was just because Oakland's been dying for.
But they had the Moneyball approach, but with no big names, there's no draw to the game. And now they're going to Vegas. So, again, that is a threat of happening. You look at somebody like the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are a small market. I think Birmingham metro area is bigger than Oklahoma City. Yet we don't have an NBA team. But, again, Oklahoma has been very aggressive of getting stars. They draft well. They have a good like San Antonio. That's not as big a city as the Birmingham metro. So it's like when you get somebody that really cares, a little city can really explode. But then some cities like Pittsburgh, which is a big city with the Steelers and the Penguins, I'm surprised they don't spend money on the Pirates. But it's based on the owner and the money they have.
When we did the trade show out in Pittsburgh over 15 years ago, and I was out there with Christy and everybody for ESC.
Yeah.
We went to where we had tickets to the Pirates game. We did a bar crawl, and then we went to the Pirates Stadium. And I didn't go into the game, but I obviously checked out the stadium and walked around it. But it was a fun time. You could hear the crowd going and stuff.
Yeah.
So it seemed like crowds were still showing up to it, but they weren't a winning team then. They're still not now.
Well, McCutcheon and them a few years ago, they were winning and they were in the playoffs. And
this was 15.
This was 5 years ago, and it was rocking in Pittsburgh. Miami Marlins, $67 million. White Sox, one of the worst teams in the history last year, $73 million. Pirates and A's are $75 and $90 million. The Tampa Bay Rays, which nobody goes to that stadium, actually spends more money than the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Dang.
Imagine this: Dodgers $336 million, Mets $323, Yankees $288. There's guys on these teams that make more than the whole franchise.
Yeah.
Like that's just it's a crazy sport of baseball, and there's so much money in it. But again, when you have one team spending $67 million and the best team spending $336, that's a huge difference, man. So again, Skeens is going to be maybe on the market. I'll be interested how that plays out, but I wanted to get your thoughts on what's more important for a guy like that.
So interesting to me about this, like how popular Division II baseball is, or I guess, was it minor league?
Yeah,
minor league baseball. I don't think it's minor.
It's fine. Yeah,
with the fun
yeah,
games and all that.
Yeah.
With how popular that's getting more because of the type of crowd fund and stuff they're doing, but you still don't see all those players moving up.
Yeah.
Not very much. You just see one or a few like Tyler, Tolbert got to, but you don't see a whole lot of them get to, and I wonder if that's going to start chopping away at some of these leagues to make them a lot smaller. Because, I feel like it's all money being wasted. Like Pittsburgh can't even pay their real team. What about these club teams that they're having to deal with? Do they have to have any affiliation with that payment?
Well, not just that, but it's pretty sad when the Savannah Bananas come and sell out a stadium, and then you play the next day and you got 10,000 people there.
Yeah, that's
like
that says a lot too.
The changing of the guard and making it more fun. That's what they're doing in the minor leagues, and some of these independent leagues are saying, "Hey, if we can't make money.
You can still play baseball. It's just a different version of baseball.
Exactly.
And let it be. If that's the way you get to make money and play your sport that you love, let it be.
Well, I'm struggling with my son with that right now. Baseball is a boring sport compared to football. Yes, why you quit? Basketball and football are so upbeat. So soccer, same thing. You're going 24/7. I saw him play 2 games. He didn't get one ball hit to him. You're standing out there for 4 hours and nothing. You get no action. Yeah, you get to bat 2-3 times a game, but it's just like.
And you're a kid, so your mind never stops wandering.
Yes,
you get in trouble because you start doing. I'm looking over here.
But when you're playing basketball and football, it's go go go, and I think that's why baseball. You have to really love the game.
Yep.
But again, to get the fans involved, you have to really start entertaining them, or you're going to lose them too. And some of these big markets, when you've got Ohtani, then Freddie Freeman, then Mookie Betts, like the Dodgers have, it's constant entertainment because you got the best players in the world playing for you. But some of these teams don't have that, so it's not entertaining because these guys are not very good.
Something I've learned just from people watching and stuff, the players that love baseball are usually players who love golf because they're both slow paced, but still exciting.
Yeah.
And involve that same range of motion.
Yeah.
When it comes to need high intensity stuff like that, you've got the hockey, the football, the soccer even get intense the entire game throughout it. But it's those kids growing up, you find out early, hey, does this kid have patience for this or not?
Yeah.
And very few do, but when they find that they do, you put them to work because they'll stick with it for life.
Well, hockey's one of the sports I've been to a hockey game. It's incredible. Oh, yeah. I just don't watch much hockey because I don't know much about it and many of the players, but it's a fun game to go to. But we'll see. Like I said, it's SEC baseball tournament time. College baseball has become very popular, especially in the SEC. We saw there's 13 of the 16 teams are ranked in the top 25. They started the SEC baseball tournament yesterday. We're going to finish out the bracket now that the 4 worst teams in the tournament are out. Bama's in, Auburn's in, Florida's in. We'll predict the rest of the bracket and see who gets it right here for our pick 'em this week. And we'll do that with our picks for NBA playoffs coming up here on Tide and Tigers.
Peace.